a special surprise for you guys. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I recently got a new toy for the garage and it's a vehicle scale and I really want to try it out. So I thought, you know what? It would be pretty interesting if I actually make a video weighing all of the cars in the garage for the exception of two. So the first one is the GT350 because it's currently up on the 4-post and honestly, I don't feel like rolling it out, so we won't be weighing that one. And the second is the Raptor because this scale does have a capacity of 5,000 pounds and the Raptor is heavier than that. So those are the two we won't be weighing, but we will be weighing the rest of the cars here in the garage, which I'm pretty interested because I'm very curious to know the exact weight. And this video is also a prequel to another one that I'll be making with the Hellcat Redeye pretty soon. So stay tuned for that one. And before I forget, this video is going to be full of cold and warm starts, so depending on the car, make sure to check your headphone volume. Now let me show you how this vehicle scale looks. So we have a scale here at the front and then we have another scale here at the rear, and there's two more scales on the other side, you just can't see them. So there's a total of 4, one scale per each wheel, and then all of these scales connect to this central device, so it'll give us the weight per each corner along with the percentages and then the grand total. So if any of you are interested in this vehicle scale, I did purchase this from Amazon and I thought it was a pretty fair price for the capacity, so I'll make sure to include the link to this vehicle scale down in the description. Now the Hellcat Redeye is conveniently already on the 2-post lift, so we'll be starting with this car, and the way this works is pretty simple. All we have to do is lift up the car just a bit, slide these scales underneath the wheels, then lower the car, and then the car will be on off-road wheels, and then this device will give us the readings of the weight. Now before I get started with weighing this car, do any of you have any guesses on how much the Hellcat Redeye will weigh? Now let's be serious guys, leaving those boat jokes aside, how much do you think the Hellcat Redeye will weigh? Let me know in the comments down below. £4,378 pounds. It keeps fluctuating between 7 and 8, so I'll just round it out to 4,378 pounds. Now let's go over the percentages so you can see where the weight is. So if we start with front left, we have 29.1%, 28.9%, 20.7% of the weight, 21.3% of the weight. So if we were to round off these percentages, then it would probably be like a 60-40 weight distribution. So the front is heavier than the rear, which I mean is no surprise to me because I already knew that this car was already front heavy. And I mean, that's the total, 4,378 pounds, at least for my Hellcat Redeye. And I almost have no gas. I think like the gas range right now is probably like 10 miles or less, so this is as bone stock as you can get it, and that's 4,378 pounds. Of course, if you did get additional features, maybe like a sunroof, leather seats, even like a sound system, that will add weight to your car, and also if you have gas. So let me know, was it what you expected? I think it was around the range that I expected it to be, just because I mean, seeing online, there is like a range and it starts somewhere between like 4,400, so that makes sense. So now that we're done weighing this car, let's get a cold start and then move it out of the way. And then let's get a cold start of the Nissan GT-R and let's weigh that one next. So these next few cars will all be needing the assistance of these 1x7 planks just because they're already a little bit too low, and we need these just to be able to get these arms underneath. But now that the GT-R is next, what are your guesses? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm thinking somewhere between the 3,900 range, but let's see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. £3,916 pounds. I'm actually shocked because I was so close to that number, but okay, 3,917. Okay, somewhere between there. sometimes fluctuates. Starting with front left, 26.2%, 27.4%, 23.6%, 22.8%. So looking at this, these percentages are a lot closer in the Hellcat Redeye, so that means that the weight is distributed a lot better, which I mean, no surprise. Now the good thing about this Nissan GT-R is that it does have adjustable coils, so I do plan on adjusting these, but that'll be later on in the future for corner balancing, just to get closer to that 50-50 weight distribution. This car currently has a full tank of race gas, and it also has a full Army Tricks exhaust, so no cats, no resonators, and that's 3,917 pounds. Were you guys surprised? Let me know, yes, no? All right, so now that we weighed the Nissan GT-R, let's get a warm start, move it out of the way, and then let's get a cold start for the M3, and then let's weigh that one. So believe it or not, guys, the M3 is Chris's favorite car. Back in Florida, he used to drive it all the time, but for some reason, once we got to Arizona, it just became a garage queen. And I'm trying to convince him to just gut this car out and turn it into a full-on track car. And he's unsure, so I'm still working on that. Well, maybe one day it'll happen. So before I weigh the car, any guesses on what you think it'll weigh? I honestly have no idea, but this should be the lightest of all the performance cars. So maybe somewhere between 3,500, 3,600. Let's see. I was close, 3,532 pounds. So starting with the percentages, left front, it's 24.8%, 27.5%, 24.6%, 23%. So looking at these, this is a lot closer to that 50-50 distribution. The only thing that I see is that right front is a tad bit heavier, but the good thing is that this M3, just like with the Nissan GT-R, it does have adjustable coils, so that corner can be adjusted for corner balancing, and this should get pretty close to that 50-50 distribution. I mean, believe it or not, Chris has tracked this car before. It's probably been like, I don't know, maybe a year and a half since he tracked it. Hopefully he can track it again. Hopefully he can use it, and I'm hoping to see more of this car in 2020 on this channel, but we'll see. So now that we weighed the M3, let's get a warm start, get it out of the way, and then let's get a cold start of that Camaro and weigh that one. I saved the best for last. It's time to weigh the Camaro ZL1 1LE. I'm thinking it's pretty close to the Nissan GT-R, so maybe a little bit less. I'm gonna guess somewhere between 3,800. Let me know what you guys think. Place your bets in the comments down below and let's find out. I was a little bit off. The weight is 3,765 or 66 pounds. So let's go over the percentages. So left front, 26.7%, 27%, 23.4%, and right rear, 22.9%. So based on these percentages, both corners in the front are pretty close to each other. and then both corners at the rear are pretty close to each other. The only thing that I can do to this car to kind of distribute the weight more evenly is at the front. So this car does have adjustable coils here at the front, so I could raise it up a little bit to get more of that 50-50 weight distribution, but I'll sacrifice downforce, so I won't be doing that because I primarily use this car at the track. Now this car currently does have a full tank of V54. It also has Corsa catless long tube headers and a full AWE track exhaust, so no cats, no resonators, and no mufflers. And it also has a full BMR suspension here at the rear. Now these parts are a little bit heavier, but I already did the calculations in one of my previous videos, and this just gained probably like a few extra pounds, so no big deal there. So the way that I currently have this car set up, I'm pretty sure it's around 80 pounds or so less than a stock ZL1 1LE. So now that we weighed the Camaro, let's get a warm start, get it out of the way, and I have a special surprise for you guys now. Surprise! Well, this kind of ruined it, but this is completely my fault because this is what happens when I don't turn on the Camry. The battery ends up draining, so Camaro to the rescue to give it some charge. And this is just one of the many problems with this Camry, but I'll get into that in a future video. So right now I'm just going to wait a little bit, let it charge, then we can get a cold start of the Camry and then we can weigh it. So now we have the Camry inside the garage, and I'm pretty sure that it's so thankful to be in here and not outside in the sun. This is the first time ever that it stepped inside the garage. Now this car is so simple that it's a bit confusing to me because I'm just so used to doing so much with the other cars. Like these pinch welds are right here, like it's just so easy. But what do you guys think this car is going to weigh? I'm thinking no more than 3,000 pounds. It's like a feather. Let me know in the comments down below and let's get to weighing it. So I was right and I was wrong. I was right that it weighs no more than 3,000 pounds, but I was wrong because it weighs a lot less than that. It weighs 2,857 pounds. Look at the front. It's almost identical. Depends because it fluctuates a little bit, but the percentages are almost identical. So that means the weight in both corners in the front are pretty much the same, and in the rear it's pretty close as well. So I think this car is the one that we've gotten like the closest, at least when it comes to those two corners in the front and in the rear. Now the only thing that I'm surprised is that this car is a lot heavier in the front, which that comes as a shock to me because this being a 4-cylinder, I would have never guessed that, but it is a lot heavier in the front than it is in the rear. And by the way, let me show you guys something. Do you guys see those lights here? So that's an aftermarket radio that the previous owner that had this car ended up installing. And I'm not really sure if it's supposed to eventually turn off like sometime after turning it off or what. But now that I see that, I'm pretty sure that's what's draining the battery in this car. So in case you guys didn't know, this car is 100% stock. No modifications on it. And it's currently on almost no gas. But there you have it. 2,857 pounds, and this car is a lot heavier in the front than it is in the rear, which is a surprise to me. But now that we weighed all of the cars, I do want to speak to you guys a little more about this Camry. So initially, the plan for the Toyota Camry was to feature it on another channel that I was going to create. But ever since I mentioned that in one of my previous videos, a lot of you have been asking me, what's up with the Toyota Camry? When are we going to see it on your channel? So I thought, you know what? Maybe I should keep it on this channel because I do have many other projects that I'm working on. But as you know, the cars that I work on this channel are more or less new. And all I'm doing is upgrading and enhancing the performance. Meanwhile, this Toyota Camry is a lot different. It's not going to be anything like that. This is more about diagnosing, repairing, and fixing the car and getting it back to its normal healthy state. And I just thought about it, and I currently have way too many projects. So I have the Camaro that I still need to finish. I have the Nissan GT-R. I still have a few more things for that car. I have a few things for the Raptor. I have that Hellcat project build and this GT350 engine project, which is a huge one. And I'm also working on a Patreon that's going to include tons of content that's not on this channel. So I decided, you know what? The Toyota Camry is going to stay on this channel, and I'm so excited for this because this is something that I've never done before. As I mentioned before, you guys see me in these videos where I'm upgrading and enhancing the performance, but this car is a lot more involved. It's going to require a lot more, and there's just a number of issues with this car. So we will be working on that together on this channel. I'm very excited. I will be doing an intro. Well, I will be doing a proper introduction to the Toyota Camry. So expect that video probably in the next few days, maybe to like a week. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.